Jack Ringenberg Media.
So, hey everyone, my name is Kayce May. I'm a student at Ball State University, and this is a podcast called College Life Unscripted. Just going to talk about college life here at Ball State. Okay. So I'm a first year freshman. I am a meteorology major, and so far freshman year is pretty chaotic, pretty hectic, I think. I've heard a lot of upperclassmen say that your other years it'll get worse before it gets better. But yeah, so I think the first thing that we're going to talk about is a bunch of people going crazy over how TikTok shut off a few days ago. So we've got community stories here at Ball State on Snapchat, and everybody was posting all at the same time. The same little message that we all got about TikTok being banned, which, crazy, by the way. It was out for maybe 12 hours, and people were literally losing their minds. I thought it was funny. I made up for it. I got Instagram Reels, so I don't care either way. But people, some of my friends were like, I don't know how I'm going to live. I was like, okay, well, I think you'll be fine. It's just TikTok, so I laid down in my bed and went to sleep after it got banned, so maybe it was a good thing. But the other message that we got that was like, thank you, President Trump. It was, okay. Everybody posting the same thing again. So there was 75 screenshots everywhere, all over Snapchat, all over social media and stuff. So it was really annoying, but I think we got through it. I'm not gonna lie. I think everybody got through it. People still talk about it like it literally just happened, and I'm like, okay, it's over now. I don't think it matters either way. But yeah. So let's talk about my second semester here at Ball State. So back in first semester, I talked to my academic advisor and I was like, listen, I don't think my major's working out for me. I need to change it. He was like, what are you thinking? And I was like, let's go for meteorology. He kind of looked at me like I was insane. He was like, you good at math? And I said, nope. And he was like, well, you're not going to be good at math either more. And I was like, oh, okay, well. So he's like, you need to sign up for this math class. It's 2 math courses, but they're both 8 weeks apiece. So it's math 113 and 114. I literally could not tell you what math it is at all. It's complex fractions, but we started a new unit, and I haven't been to class the last 2 days, so I actually don't know what we started, but it's hard. I took my first math exam, and I was like, the first thing I said was, do you offer retakes? She kind of just looked at me and was like, seriously? And I was like, yeah, it was bad. But I've got to take math 113 and 114 in order to take pre-calc and then calculus. Some other kids in my English class first semester were like, you're good at math, right? And I said, nope. And then they were like, you're going to hate meteorology. And I was like, well, what else am I going to do? I could have taken pre-calc in high school, but I decided not to. And my guidance counselor at the time was like, you're going to want to take this. And I was like, no, I'll be all right. I should have just taken it in high school. At the time in high school, I knew the math teacher, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But now I don't know anything about math. And usually she's like, our math teacher 113 is usually like, okay, so we're going to do this, and then she'll just do it and won't explain anything. My favorite is, however, whenever she writes down a problem and then she's like, I'll let you guys figure that out in your own time. Baby, I'm not touching this paper after I leave this room, by the way. I'm just going to shove it in my backpack and go to my next class. Other than my math class, so meteorology, I've got to start with the basics. So I'm starting in geography classes, and last semester you were supposed to take the introductory course to the geography class and then start the next class. Well, I didn't do that. So I'm currently taking the introductory course, the next level, and then the next level. So I'm taking all 3 levels at once. And one of them, I missed the first 2 days of. So I don't know how to use the program that's for the class. So I was like, oh well, I'll wing it, I'll figure it out. I just learned today how to use the program. I didn't even learn how to use it. I actually just learned how to figure out to get to the tutorials to use it, which was insane because I was like, hey, how do I get here? And he literally yelled at me. He's like, you didn't figure this out? And I was like, no. I wasn't here. How was I supposed to figure it out? But he helped me with it. And then that was for my Geography 265 class, which is, I got to use this program called ArcGIS, which I didn't think anybody else had heard of it, but apparently they use it in real world situations. So, yeah. But in my beginner's course, Geography 101 and then Geography 150, which is actually really funny because I take Geography 150 and then Geography 101. So I take that 150 class at 9 a.m. and then I take the 101 at 2 p.m. And I told the professor, I was like, hey, I'm learning like new material before I learn the old material. And he's like, well, better hope you do good then. And I was like, okay, well, I think I'm just getting screwed over because I don't really know what else I'm supposed to do. Like, it's not my problem. It's not my fault. But I was like, why do you teach 2 introductory courses a semester? Like, you teach 1 first semester and then 1 second semester. And he goes, well, for kids like you. And I was like me? I was like, what does that mean? He was like, well, whenever you're not in the class the first semester. And I was like, well, I didn't think I was going to be a meteorology student my first semester, so there's that. I've had some people tell me, they're like, oh, it's good that you changed your major, but why would you change it to meteorology? And I'm like, what else was I supposed to do? Med? Like, I don't want to deal with medicine. I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to be a nurse. I don't want to work with computers. Props to those people who do, but I personally don't want to do that. Not my thing. And I was like, you know what? I'll figure out why the wind blows so hard. No, why not? But it's crazy whenever I tell people about it, and they're like, well, why'd you choose meteorology? And I'm like, because I'm afraid of storms. I actually hate the rain. I hate thunder. I hate lightning. Wind, don't like it. It can blow at 5 miles an hour, and I'm like, oh my God, we're all going to die. Freaks me out. I don't like it. So I think it's actually really funny. And even my parents were like, why would you pick meteorology? And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? Interview insane criminals, which is what I was going to do, but I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. I realized that whenever I sat in my psychology class and was like, wow, this sucks. Like, not my thing. It's not my thing, but if it's for somebody else, then you know what, you go ahead and do that. But it's personally not for me. I was like, I just don't want to, deal with that. What I wanted to do originally was work in like an insane asylum, which was so unrealistic because they really don't exist anymore. It's just mental hospitals. But I didn't want to deal with, like juveniles is how I put it. My mom actually was telling me, she's like, the state of Indiana, they need a criminal psychologist for juveniles. And I was like, okay, that's sick, but juveniles? No. I don't want to work with kids. That was my big thing. I was like, that's another thing. I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to work with kids. Like, I don't like kids. Like, in the nicest way possible. They're not my thing. So I was like, I'm just going to pick something else. But if meteorology doesn't work out for me, I guess I'll come back here and get my degree in psychology and criminal justice and be a criminal psychologist, which is not the goal. But if it must be done, then it must be done. Told my dad, I was like, if I'm not happy in college, I'm just going to drop out. And he's like, no, you're not. I was like, all right, well, there we go. I wanted to work. Like, I wanted to keep working. But my mom's like, you have to go to school. And I was like, do I? Like, why? She's like, I don't know, just go. And I was like, okay. So I applied for Ball State, and now I'm here. My other option was Ivy Tech, which is not a bad school. Ivy Tech it's a good school for most kids. Or Indiana State University. That one was my other one, but Ball State reached out to me the most. They have a great student life, a great campus environment. My only thing though is with the random people in the random dorms. Like, some of the dorms just aren't that good. Like, Stu West, my roommate last year said that it was worse. Like, the fire alarm going off, people burning things in the microwave. This year, however, it seems to be a thing of people pooping in the shower, which I don't understand why that's such a big thing. Compared to Botswana, whenever y'all were peeing in the trash cans, by the way, hello? That was crazy. But Stu West, why are we pooping in the showers, guys? Come on. I was actually talking to a friend about this yesterday, and he was like, it was you, wasn't it? I was like, no! Like, why would I do that? It's absolutely disgusting. Yeah. And poor Stu East. They're so far. All those poor athletic kids. Oh. I would hate, though, however, to live in Northwest, because it is the farthest away from anything. Like, yeah, you're right there next to North Dining, but you got to go to Cooper Science. I'd just drop out at that point. Or if you had to go to the Burkhart building, you're done. Like, you better hope that a green loop stops right in front of North Dining and picks you right up. But no, I think Schmidt-Wilson, pretty good. Why are y'all screaming in the hallways all the time, though? Every time I'm in there, there's always somebody screaming, which I understand. I get it. But why? All the time. I don't hear anything bad about Neuer, Park, Deho, Woodworth. Y'all are alright. Byrell, STEM kids. Hello. I think it's Stu West and Botswana are like the craziest dorms I've ever been in, to be honest. Botswana specifically, because those walls are paper thin. Y'all gotta be quiet sometimes. Oh my gosh. It's not even that. It's just screaming 24/7. Like Schmidt-Wilson, except those kids are screaming for a good purpose. You guys are just screaming to be loud. Same with Stu West. I know those walls are cement, but y'all gotta be quiet. I can hear you straight through the cement. Yeah, but with the North neighborhood, with North Dining, can we get some new options? Why I don't want a Tex-Mex bowl. I want wings. Why do we got? I don't understand. And every time I go, I feel like it's the same stuff, every single time. The pasta one, like the pasta stand. Let's switch that up a little bit. I understand it's pasta, like Italian food, stuff like that, because there's pizza on the other side. But like, why is it always gotta be Alfredo and marinara? Like, throw in like a pesto or something. I don't know, make it a little bit more fun. With the North Dining, like other dining thing, the other dining halls, we could definitely make another episode about this, which I definitely will, because that is just a whole thing on its own. Same with the buses that I talked about earlier, transportation around Ball State, that is a whole nother thing. Definitely gonna dive more into dorm buildings, because I want to talk to people who live in different dorms. Definitely. This has been the pilot episode for College Life Unscripted. Tune in for more episodes, and thank you for listening today.
College Life Unscripted is a production of Jack Ringenberg Media. The show is produced by Jack Ringenberg and Kayce May. For more Jack Ringenberg content, you can visit us online at jackringenberg.com. Thank you for listening. If you like this episode, please follow the show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Leaving a rating also really helps the show. The views and opinions in this show do not necessarily represent those of Jack Ringenberg, Ball State, or Jack Ringenberg Media.